June 30th, 2019. Gap-pyeong, South Korea. A group of friends stands atop a 13-foot cliff overlooking a black mountain pool. Among them is 40-year-old Yoon Sang-yeop, a successful researcher who is terrified of water. He couldn't swim a stroke. Yet under the cold pressure of the moonlight and the watchful eyes of his wife, Lee Eun-hae, Yoon did the unthinkable. He jumped, and Yoon Sang-yeop never resurfaced. At first, the local police ruled it a tragic accident, a dare gone wrong during a weekend getaway. But in the digital shadows of Lee's smartphone, a much darker story was waiting to be told. Lee Eun-hae wasn't a grieving widow. She was an apex predator. To the world, Yoon Sang-yeop and Lee Eun-hae were a loving professional couple. But in reality, Lee Eun-hae had turned their marriage into a gilded cage, slowly stripping Yoon of his money, his dignity, and finally, his life. Despite Yoon's high-salary job at a top research firm, he was living in a moldy basement apartment, penniless. Why? Because Lee had systematically drained his bank accounts to fund a luxury lifestyle with her secret accomplice and lover Cho Hyun-soo. While Yoon was skipping meals to save pennies, Lee was posting photos of 5-star overseas vacations. But the money was running out, and Yoon was worth more to Lee dead than alive. The motive for the murder? An 800 million won life insurance policy. Investigators later uncovered text messages between Lee and her lover discussing pufferfish blood. They had attempted to poison Yoon's food months earlier, but miraculously he survived. They even tried to drown him at a different location, but a friend had intervened. Yoon's life insurance policy was set to expire in just 4 hours, and this made Lee Eun-hae desperate and anxious. Lee Eun-hae lured the man who trusted and loved her the most in this world to the edge of that cliff. Using psychological grooming, she convinced him that jumping was a test of his bravery and his love. She didn't have to push him. She watched him sink into the dark, and for 8 minutes, she stood on the bank and did absolutely nothing. Silence and patience was her murder weapon. Lee Eun-hae and her lover went on the run for 4 months. After failing to collect even a cent of Yoon's life insurance claim, it triggered a reinvestigation into Yoon's death, which sparked one of the largest manhunts in South Korean history. When they were finally cornered in a high-rise apartment, Lee Eun-hae was sentenced to life in prison for murder by omission. It was a landmark case that proved that sometimes the deadliest blow isn't a strike, it's the refusal to reach out a hand. File 04. Insurance fraud is officially archived. Subscribe to join the Crimson Dossier. The vault is open.